The Dodgers made two weird moves to bring in very, very bad hitters. Why I've cooled on Bo Bichette suddenly this offseason, plus voicemails and your thoughts on where things stand with your Dodgers on this Saturday edition of All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network podcast, presented by FanDuel. My name is Clint. Find me as Real FRG on the social media. Sorry to keep you guys waiting here. Trying to get a lot in on this show. Seeing people in the chat already saying, it's been a while since we've had a Saturday show. It's been about a month since we had the triumphant return and then the disappearance of Saturdays. But guys, this is Saturday, the first one of the year. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You're the reason I want to do this show. Plus, I want to talk about the Dodgers. It feels like it's been a while. It will be just me today, me and you guys. Get your thoughts into the chat. What do you think about these player additions? Where are you with Bo Bichette? Because there has been that report that he's looking for $300 million. And I don't know, it got me feeling a little oogie, a little icky, a little different about the potential of adding Bo Bichette. Reminder, it is a Saturday show. Might get a little spicy with the language, a little bit colorful. So if you are watching or listening and aren't a fan of foul words, I'll try not to use many, but I feel if there's a point where an embellishment of an F-bomb will help the content, in my opinion, I might drop one. So there is your content warning. Guys, let's get into it. The Dodgers make an addition, if we're going to call it that. They reportedly signed an infielder, so I'm getting my graphics ready up here if we want to call them graphics. They claim an infielder on waivers. This is Ryan, not Tyler, Ryan Fitzgerald, who is a very, very not good hitter, we'll say. Pause for effect. See on the screen there, hit a $196 last year as he was called up for the first time to the big league level as a 31-year-old. So you know he's not great, but made his debut with the Minnesota Twins last year. Didn't do great, hit a $196. Did have 4 homers. 4 of his 9 hits were homers. But anyways, this is official. You see the Dodgers made the announcement on their social media. And then there's the other one that is a report. We'll go to Kylie McDaniel on this one. Dodgers acquiring or are close to signing infielder Andy Ibanez, who spent some time with Texas, has spent some time with Detroit, has a couple of seasons under his belt where he has been just barely, just a hair above league average as a hitter. Both these guys can play all over the infield. Fitzgerald has played some in the outfield, but I hate them. I hate them desperately. I hate that they are both they need to be on the 40-man roster. They are major league deals. Fitzgerald being on waivers, he has to be on the 40-man, and then Ibanez is going to be on the 40-man. They had one spot open, so Fitzgerald, that's why he was announced. With Ibanez, they're going to need to make a move. I don't know. I don't know what you guys want. Or how you guys feel, I should say. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted, half distracted by the chat here. I see Sydney saying not a fan of the new additions and confused as to why they did it. Are they just going to keep Ha-Seong Kim in the minors? I know Tommy is injured, but what about Freeland? Are they trading in Sydney? All great shit there, because that's what the fuck I wrote in my notes. I'm like, do these dudes hate? Do the Dodgers kind of hate Ha-Seong Kim? Do they not want to give him a chance? Let's take a step back. The 40-man roster implications. They need to make a move. The Dodgers will need to make a move to add Ibanez now. Hey, if it's DFAing Fitzgerald, I'm all for it. You don't need both of these dudes. But yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to ask. Coming from this, what I wanted to ask. Do the Dodgers have zero trust in Ha-Seong Kim? Maybe they've been watching a little bit too much Alana, who's not very high on Ha-Seong Kim. If you watch DT, you know. Let's pin that thought for now. But yeah, more on Ibanez. Again, he's been okay in the past. I forget the age. Let me look that up real quick. But even so, like, he doesn't need to. That did not feel like a major league deal. That feels like every bit of a non-roster invite, minor league deal, non-roster invite to spring training. 32 is going to be 33 in April. this is just insurance, right? This is all this is. These dudes shouldn't see significant playing time with the Dodgers, during the regular season, but it's insurance. It is insurance in the event that Kike Hernandez either doesn't resign or is gone for the first month or two, maybe even 3, coming back from that elbow surgery. We know Tommy Edman, things are a little, we'll say not finicky, but they're fluid. They're fluid right now with Tommy Edman and when he will be able to be ready to go with coming off that ankle surgery. No reason to push Tommy Edman. I think we all need to. I'll say it here because I have it in my head, and it feels like I'm trending towards saying something where like, oh, these guys are terrible. We can't have these dudes on the opening day roster. Opening day roster doesn't mean shit. We care about who's healthy, happy, and hitting well in September and October. That's all I care about. So all of this ultimately doesn't mean anything because these are the dudes. If both Fitzgerald and Ibanez are on the opening day roster for some ungodly reason, they will not be there when it comes to October. That is an important thing to put here. The first thing I kind of thought of, outside of the health and availability of Tommy Edman for maybe the first couple weeks of the season, was roster insurance for spring training games. You have to be able to field enough players, have enough good players, living players, or in this case, just living players, not necessarily good players, but you have to have enough players to field a team during Cactus League games, during spring training games. And the WBC is coming up. The Dodgers are going to lose a couple of players for the World Baseball Classic. We do know Ha-Seong Kim, I think it's been confirmed now that he's going to be playing for Team Korea. So I love that for him. I also kind of wish the Dodgers could get more eyes on him, get more opportunities to kind of continue working on the swing and all that kind of stuff. But he's going to be gone from camp. We still don't know everybody that's going to be gone from camp. The Enigma pointing out in the chat, the Athletic Katie Wu had also brought up that Tommy Edman might not be ready for opening day, which again is fine. It makes sense coming off of the ankle injury and the surgery, and that's where we get to. They need coverage. The Dodgers need some coverage for spring training games, and that's where I can see these dudes, your Fitzgeralds, your Ibanez additions, but just why are they on the major league roster? That's the thing I'm upset about. If you guys are upset at all, I don't know. I probably don't need to be upset, but after we've waited for the last month, I guess it's month for a decent signing. It's been about a month since, actually been just over a month since the addition of Edwin Diaz. This isn't what I was expecting. So maybe I'm a little annoyed about it. If you guys are at all annoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Should be here on Saturdays moving forward, doing this kind of format where it's just me and you guys. I'll get Kevin in the mix as well. Jeff will be around and back this week as well. Anyways, final thoughts. I hate the Fitzgerald edition. I don't mind the Ibanez edition. With him, to me, it's not huge if they like Ibanez over that weird waiver, the other weird waiver claim edition. Is it Mike Ciani or whatever, that outfield dude that they picked up earlier this winter? In my opinion, they could use more infield help than outfield help, which I know sounds weird because the outfield feels pretty thin. I'll get back to the Ha-Seong Kim thing. This really also just makes me wonder about how this club feels about Kim, his ability to hit at the major league level, and to a lesser extent, Alex Freeland for the upcoming season, because these are two dudes who are around, who are available, who are on the 40-man roster and deserve opportunities at some point. Kim hit well until he didn't at all last year. But anyways, whether, I think we need to talk more about the Ha-Seong Kim thing at some point. Maybe it's like, what is the long-term plan with him? Maybe that's later on in this show. Maybe that's something where we talk about it, me, Jeff, Kevin, whoever, on a different episode. But anyways, that's kind of my stuff there. It's what I wanted to complain about. The Dodgers added a couple of players, so we got that going for us. Cheers. It is a coffee kind of morning. Let's find some chats real quick before I move on to now complaining. Apparently, it's going to be a me bitching about shit show. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Let's get to Enigma. The Enigma with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Also does some great stuff with us in our All Dodgers Discord. More on that later. So it's two things. One, a player is worth whatever someone is willing to pay. Two, I don't understand why we're treating this like saving for Christmas presents. Dodgers can afford this. It's not my money. And that's, of course, in reference to Bo Bichette. We should talk Bo Bichette. We will talk Bo Bichette. First, I want to make sure I talk about FanDuel. They are a presenting partner of this show, and I just want to let people know that the Dodgers still, even despite these wonderful additions of Fitzgerald and Ibanez, are still favorites to win the World Series next season. Plus 260 favorites. Next closest, the New York Yankees at plus 1,000. So if you want to try to make some decent money, playing the gambling or whatever you want to call it, going over to FanDuel. I don't know what I'm saying here, but the point is, don't bet on the Dodgers. You're not going to win as much. You're going to win, most likely, because the Dodgers are good, despite Fitzgerald and Ibanez. But plus 260 favorites does make you feel good about the Dodgers getting to and winning another World Series. That would make it a three-peat if you're nasty. But some coffee for me, some thank you to FanDuel for presenting the show, and now I guess we talk Bo. Maybe not yet. Let's get into the chat a little bit more. I see my boy Noah Ortega saying, did they have Ha-Seong Kim play outfield during the regular season? Maybe they'll try that again. They did have that. They need to. The biggest and best way Ha-Seong Kim gets into the lineup is if he finds a way to maximize his versatility and hit the baseball, of course, as well as he was over his first few weeks of play until the league adjusted to him. But if he could play the outfield and not feel like a liability in the outfield, I think he'll be he'll be like absolutely somebody who is a player for this team. Needs to be. KY Dodger fan, not the lube, but Dodger fan. Happy spicy Saturday, all. Appreciate you in the chat. Mike Awesome says, when did the show start? After I push the button, for sure. My boy Uhas is in the chat. Everybody's favorite Kevin. It's been a minute since we had a Saturday show. Let's do a desk pop to celebrate. Is that a reference to some delicious Maker's Mark? I don't know. You guys know the going rate for Maker's Mark. I'm just saying, going rate for a shot is at least a $5 on the super chat. Timmy in the chat bringing up some wonderful pistachios. No, wrong show. Not a sponsor, but I would take their money. I do like pistachios. You know who does not? Your boy Jeff Snyder. $1.99 super chat from Raul. Appreciate you, Raul Robles, in the chat asking or saying Dodgers are using the Lux plan for Kim, the Gavin Lux plan. For Kim, I don't know. Do they have a plan for Gavin Lux? I mean, they really tried to force him at shortstop. That was kind of a plan. With Kim, I think it was let's sign him and see what he can do. Let's see if he can figure something out. Gotta gotta give him an opportunity. Give bro an opportunity, man. At some point. What do we see here? Dodger Dog 805. Got to remember, all these teams are making big moves just to compete and try and beat the Dodgers. Yes, they are. And hey, Toronto's done a pretty good job thus far in making some moves. We mentioned it on the last stream we did, by the way. They, over on FanDuel, their odds have increased. They're still really low, by the way. You would think the odds makers would like Toronto better, considering they were like a half inch away from winning the World Series just a couple of months ago. But Toronto plus 1,300 favorites. They are down. They are down on the list. They are number 5 favorites over there on the FanDuel. Dodger Dog also asking, by the way, did Max Kepler also have ringworm? Kidding. Dodger Dog also asking, why not? It's a Dodger Dog show here. What is in that coffee? This is Pete's coffee with what creamer is it? Like a sweet creamer. It's good. It's not Hornitos though. Sponsor your boy. The Enigma, I hope you do circle back on the points he made in the super chat, because the answer to people clutching their pearls about spending too much money, I'm 100% going to get back into that for sure. Oh, God. Kevin Uhas, my man, the myth, the legend, $10. Just he wants a desk pop. And you know what? Because I'm classy, I'm not even, you know what? I will. Just in case YouTube gets mad at booze on the tape or on the stream. It's not booze, YouTube. It is apple juice. And we are pouring into an official All Dodgers glass just for Kevin Uhas. First desk pop of 2026. Noah wants to have a poll of the best coffee. I'm a Pete's guy. I think Black Rifle is overrated. And don't worry, we're going to get into Bo Bichette talk. I'm sorry. Black Rifle is overrated. Starbucks, awful. Get me Pete's any day of the week. I really like that one. They weren't necessarily a sponsor, but I really liked the Heritage coffee we had on the show for a little bit. Shipping was just too expensive, so I stopped, talking about them. Anyway, Stanley, talk about why you were wrong about Bo. I don't know if I was wrong. I think I flew too close to the sun. I love the idea of Bo Bichette, but flew too close to the sun, spending other people's money. Let's get into it. And of course, this plays off of what the Enigma's chat was. Again, a player is worth whatever someone is willing to pay, and not understanding why the Dodgers would need to be saving money. I don't think it's so much about saving money. Not that one. I want this one. Bo Bichette thoughts. I got thoughts. And yes, this is another show where I devolve into talking about Bo Bichette. But I've been, as you guys know, I've been ridiculously high on Bo Bichette for a while now. I might have not been leading the charge, but we're pretty close to it here. And I've definitely been very vocal, very loud, forcing it into every single show. He's a really good hitter. Dodger second baseman were really flipping bad last year. But I have now cooled, and here's why. Dude is not a $300 million player. The report came out, and I'll put this on the screen. Shout out Blue Jays Nation. Stupid idea of every website being called Nation. But anyways, John Heyman had pointed out, or had mentioned, had reported, as I sip on some coffee here, Bo Bichette, his market, or his team, his agent, was looking for a $300 million deal. That's the asking price. Unsure of the years. There was nothing in that report, but dude is not a $300 million player in my view. The years definitely change it for sure. If he's trying to match Trey Turner's 11-year deal signed a couple years ago, that 300 over 11 years, I think that's like $27.5 million. You guys know I'm not the math guy. That's Jeff. So shout out Jeff for hashtag math baby. That type of AAV, $27.5 million, that is fine. Would 100% pay that. Both of these players have their flaws, mostly on defense. I don't know. I personally don't know if Bo is in the same category as Trey. He's close. Feels like maybe a half step below Trey Turner for me, and I'm basing this just off of feel. I have no numbers. I have nothing. I mean, both of them, again, very good players that can hit. Power, he can slide. Did I mention he can slide with Trey Turner? Bo can't slide. Ernie Clement can slide, I guess. But anyways, they're super close. They're right there. Bo Bichette has twice led the American League in hits, like broken hit. Broken can hit for some dingers. He can stand at shortstop, but he is probably a lesser shortstop than Trey Turner. Both the players have their flaws. But that 28 million AAV, I love that. I like that. That's absolutely, that's probably a bargain in this market for Bo Bichette. I was kind of figuring he'd be somewhere closer to like $300 million, but zero chance in this scenario that he's trying to match or even potentially exceed Trey Turner's deal. Zero chance I'm signing Bo Bichette for 11 years, even if he's only 27 going on 28. Like, if he's looking for $300 million over 7 or 8 or 9, I want to know what he's smoking. Like, that's what, $33 million to $43 million annually. He's not a $40 million a year player. Bo Bichette is not a $40 million a year player. Very good baseball player, but I don't give a shit what you think you're worth. That ain't it, dog. That ain't it. If the Dodgers found a way to do like $35 million a year, but short term, we're talking max at 5 years, knowing that there's an opt-out after a year or two, and knowing that he would likely definitely opt out, then I'm game for it. But that's where I'm at. I don't know. I know some people are going to disagree with that. Dave saying Heyman just spitting out a rumor. Is Heyman his agent? No, but Heyman is the agent's he's the agent's reporter for sure. He is absolutely every bit of the agent's reporter. Random one here. Michael says you're better off without Jeff. I love Jeff. Jeff's a good time. Give Jeff some love, guys. He'll be back either tomorrow or the next time he or we do a show. But anyways, the money, it's too damn high within reason. Again, the other reason, I already kind of alluded to this, where I kind of spoke on it. The other reason I'm out on Bo Bichette is I've kind of just come back down to earth. I flew way too close to the sun with the Dodgers checkbook this winter, particularly as the winter has gone on. And I think the Edwin Diaz signing, for me, how out of nowhere that came. I didn't anticipate that. I guess last offseason I didn't anticipate them signing Tanner Scott to that big deal, and then they did. But I flew too close to the sun and took a moment seeing that figure and knowing how much I wanted Bo Bichette, but seeing that figure, I took that moment to step back and remind myself. I'm going to remind myself even more here, and maybe some other folks in the chat. Can we remember there's a fucking luxury tax? There is a penalty. The Dodgers paid $169 million just in luxury tax penalties for the 2025 season. The last two seasons, was it $272 million they have paid over the last two seasons? I guess this is a good opportunity to say money does buy championships to a degree. The Dodgers would get hit with another 110% tax on the overage of anything they go over. I think it's $304 million in 2026. When we get into the numbers and all that, I don't like this talk. I'm not very good at this numbers and math and being generally likable. I'm not very good at all these kind of things. But at some point, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, and I want people to give me shit about it in the chat, please. At some point, we need to see this team come back to reality. There goes gravity, all that kind of stuff. And with that, I might be okay with them not playing at the top end of the market for the rest of this offseason. No Kyle Tucker, no Cody Bellinger, who we've already heard the Dodgers are out on Cody Bellinger for the type of money he's looking for. No Bo Bichette. There was a point in time early in the offseason, I was the guy who was like, no, I think they're okay enough to probably go out there with the club they had and compete. They're definitely going to win the NL West. That's going to be easy, but compete for a World Series championship. I still think you need to add an outfielder. Maybe that's Harrison Bader. But I think they might need to be out on Bichette and Kyle Tucker because, again, the money is getting insane. If they sign one of these dudes to like $40 million a year or something like that, you start to see it pop up more on Twitter. That essentially costs like $80 million to the team. And I don't care what they say, like that money comes out of our pockets in some way. The stadium's already gotten insane. It's you can't park there for less than the price of a leveraged kidney. I don't know. It's too expensive there. The price is too damn high. Too expensive to park. Too expensive to eat, to drink, to enjoy yourself. All of that, the price comes due, as they say, and that's one of the reasons I think the Dodgers, I would like to see them come back to reality. They have some options internally. They just, settled on a deal with Alex Call. He will be around, in arbitration. He will be around. Ryan Ward is on the roster. He is somebody who we were all clamoring for to play some left field for this team last year. We've talked about it. We talked to him on the show a month and a half ago. Go check it out here on the All Dodgers podcast, talking about his improvements as a hitter, as a defender. He thinks he got a bad rap as a defender because of reasons, because he was not an outfielder when he was playing college ball. He has become a very good hitter, much better hitter. He has improved every single year, and he's done it intentionally. Now, as we've said on Dodgers territory a whole bunch, it's not sexy at all to enter what could be a three-peat season with Alex Call and Ryan Ward as your kind of platoon, I guess we can say, in left field. And that, of course, means that Teoscar Hernandez remains in right field, where he is a liability defensively. And then Andy Pages remains in center field, where he improved defensively, but the offense kind of declined month by month. So there are concerns in the outfield for sure if you don't add anybody. That's why I want Harrison Bader. He's an adult. He's a grown-up. He's a veteran. He's been a pretty good hitter over the years. That's what they need. They need a pretty good hitter. They don't need a game changer. That's a reality I'm trying to bring myself back to. Trying to be back to November Clint, who was reasonable and not spending other people's money. Second base, and whether Tommy Edman is going to be in the mix over there, and maybe they give an opportunity. Maybe the Ibanez kids find something, and it becomes the everyday second baseman for the Dodgers. Okay, now I'm smoking crack. Ha-Seong Kim finds something at second base if they give him an opportunity. Tommy Edman at second base. Just won a Gold Glove there. Miguel Rojas getting opportunities at second base. I don't know. I like the team somewhat as it is. It would be a lot more fun, for sure. A lot more splashy, a lot more sexy to add Bo Bichette, but at some point we need to come back down to reality. I want to know your thoughts. Sound off in the chat. I don't know if I buttoned all of that up well. This was a stream of thought. I had some notes, but a stream of thought, stream of consciousness kind of show. It's just me and you guys. It happens. If it's good, let me know. If it's bad, let me know. Either way, hit that like button. Dave. I was a Bo and Bader proponent, now am Bader and Donovan trade. He wants to see Brendan Donovan. He wants his team to be all Cardinals, so that way Katie Woo feels good covering the Dodgers because she'll be doing with a lot of friends she made along the way. Harrison Bader, Brendan Donovan, of course. Tommy Edman being on that roster. Oh, man. I don't even know what that name is. Aricio? Air Tio? Who's Theo are you? But it says my name at the end. Whoever you are, thank you for hanging out with me on this Saturday. Man, all they need for Tanner Scott, Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman return to form, and they don't need anything new. Yes. And this is one of the things I think we had on Dodgers territory, the New Year's show, resolution show. If Mookie Betts gets back to hitting like he was in parts of August into September, Mookie, we all like to forget, or a lot of people like to forget, he was hitting to start the postseason as well until he started facing good pitching. But even so, if Tommy Edman comes back from that ankle injury, that ankle surgery, and hits a little better, and again, I will also point out or acknowledge that I have soured a little on Tommy Edman. I've been somebody this offseason who was saying I don't think Tommy Edman should be an everyday guy. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven that he can hit, see that he can hit something like he was hitting to start the season last year. If he can be that dude who was the NLCS MVP in 2024. Tanner Scott would be massive. This bullpen is going to be electric. Mark my words, it's going to be electric with all the dudes they have, all the guys they have in the starting rotation. Pitching not being a problem is phenomenal. I love that. I love that for us. But, the improvements for this team could be the friends we already made along the way with Mookie. And even Freddie. Freddie Freeman had a very, very good year. But I would love to see Freddie hitting back up to his standards, what Freddie Freeman likes to do. Shohei getting the average a little bit back up. Hit 272 was phenomenal. Shohei can do no wrong. But if you get the average back up a little bit, I'd like to see just a little bit more consistency in the approach there. Max Muncy stay happy and healthy for an entire season. Will Smith also stay. Dalton Rushing, by the way, another one in this same vein of this comment, who I still have on the screen, but I don't know how to say the name, so I apologize. If Dalton Rushing could do something, force his way into being an outfielder, even though that's not his MO, they didn't even let him play the outfield last season. I hope that dude is working on it, shows up to spring training and says, look what I can do. And he does that whole thing like, what's his name? Michael McDonald used to do on Mad TV. Look what I can do. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. Sorry for that. That was, call that a weave. It's a weave. Anyways, I'm going to have some coffee and shut up. Oh, shit, I can't do that. It's just me. If Dalton Rushing could be that guy we were told is a good hitter. You don't need a Bo Bichette. You don't need a Kyle Tucker. Anyways. Astro Manny 11 says saw Edmund in a boot. His ankle is cooked. He did have the surgery. The expectation is he still shouldn't be on. He might be on like body weight. He should be able to walk on it by now, but he might not be. What's the word I'm looking for? He might not be like full go by the start of spring training. Like he might just be at that point where he's starting to ramp up. You got to figure right now he has not been doing any. Sorry, the coffee's getting to me. He's not been doing running, hitting, fielding, maybe doing some swinging, maybe doing some dry work. He could probably do that, but it's still not quite the same when your ankle, when your foot is in a boot. He will be fine. He will be fine. Stanley says, how dare you? Tommy Tanks is the best. Disagree, respectfully. Disagree. Dodger Dog. The whole lineup struggled. Yeah, they did. Second base was really bad. Left field, as we all know, from the guy whose name we dare not speak, Conforto. Left field was bad. Second base was really bad. Elsewhere, everywhere else. I mean, shortstop was bad because Mookie struggled for a hot minute. But as we said just a minute ago, if Mookie gets going again, starts feeling himself again, the Dodgers going to be in an incredible spot. By the way, if anybody also has thoughts, I think we only have one voicemail right now, or not think. We only have one voicemail right now from Richie. We're going to play that in a little bit. But if you have thoughts you want to get in on the show, I'm going to try to get them in, try to pull them. Again, I'm a one-man operation right now, so things can get a little wonky. But 562-373-4095, call in, get your thoughts in. I'm trying to get to as many of the chats as I can along the way. Let's see. $1.99 from the Enigma. Thank you very much. Says our lineup is aging like Father Time. Or our lineup is aging, and Father Time is undefeated. That is correct. And you know how you remedy that? Dalton rushing, getting good, figuring something out. Alex Freeland, by the way, being an option, being somebody this team can play at third, at second, can back up at shortstop or something like that. If Alex Freeland can hit better than the garbage he hit, with all due respect, was high on Freeland. Did not get off to a hot start in his big league career. Ha-Seong Kim, all of those dudes, they help bring down that median age. They have younger dudes already in-house. Yes, Bo Bichette is in a prime position. It feels not quite the same, but it feels a little bit like, Adrian Beltre going to, this is wrong, but Adrian Beltre going to free agency. He was 25, 26 at the time. Just the right time. Young dudes going out there, competing, getting money. Just walk away from the young dudes thing. Anyways, Raul, $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. What are your thoughts about how far apart the Tigers are with Tarek Skubal? I'm glad you brought this up because I had it in my notes that I keep along the way of different talking points and things I wanted to bring up. Bruh, let me get this one up here. How bad are the Tigers gonna fumble this Tarek Skubal thing, man? Like, they're talking about trading him, and then they're not gonna trade him, and he goes on a Detroit Love Fest World Tour in December. And then they're, $12 million? I forgot the numbers, but they're like $11 million apart, 11, 12, $10 million apart in exchange figures in arbitration, with he's looking at $32 million, which is fair for a two-time Cy Young Award winner in the American League. He's looking for that, and they're at 19. The Tigers are at 19. That cannot go to arbitration. My sweet God. And if it does, they need to treat that shit like the Amber Heard poo-poo trial with Johnny Depp. Like, I want cameras. I want court sketch artists in that hearing room watching the Tigers tell Tarek Skubal, well, yeah, but you were shit for the first few years of your career and then you got hurt. Like, how do you tell the best pitcher, one of the best pitchers in baseball, if not the best? I mean, dude is an absolute animal, Tarek Skubal. Gonna look great in Dodger Blue in this season. How do you tell him, I don't know, man, you suck. Like, you really suck and everybody hates you. It's embarrassing. That's gonna be bad, but it's crazy. It's crazy. I'll put it back on the screen. My thoughts are the Tigers, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up, man. Don't piss off a franchise icon. Let's see what we got here. BC, not a fan, I think, of Rushing and Freeland. Yeah, listen, at some point, you need these dudes. You need some guys internal to figure some things out if you want this club to continue to be successful for years to come. That was the early part of the Guggenheim success, was a lot of dudes coming up from the farm system. Guys, Ned Coletti and his regime started developing with your Jock Petersons, your Cody Bellingers, your Corey Seagers, your Walker Buellers, these type. They need to start having some more success. Julio Urias in there to a degree. They need to start having success internal. Most of the Dodgers drafted or developed success has come away from the organization, talking like Michael Busch. He's doing it. He's hitting the hell out of the baseball for the Cubs. He's not doing it as the Dodgers. They need these two guys in particular on the screen. If Rushing or Freeland could do something, they don't. Max Muncy's not going to be the third baseman forever. They need a third baseman. We'll be very much talking about that a whole bunch next offseason. Even though Max will re-sign with the team, he will be around. He's going to retire as a Dodger. He's not going to be like, Justin Turner, who was forced to leave. He will retire a Dodger. But, my car mat. By the way, this is just for the viewing audience. How you like that? How you like my coaster? That is a Honda floor mat. Shout out Honda. Used to work there. Anyways, what are we talking about here? I think we had a super chat from our friend Richie Flores. $9.99 out of the DeVore Man Cave. Thank you very much, sir. This is, what does 250 mean to Jock and myself? It's his weight and my IQ. I see we're lying today, Richie. He says, Tommy Tanks will be fine. Screw Tucker. Bo is a Blue Jay. Must find a grinder to play left field. # mental toughness. Well, we know Bo Bichette is a grinder. He's got that mental toughness, but I think he's priced out of what the Dodgers might be wanting to pay. Left field, Harrison Bader. That's kind of my guy. It's not going to be a Steven Kwan. I think I saw somebody mention Kwan in the chat earlier. I'm out on even mentioning Kwan anymore on these shows because there's just no effing way. There's no Jeffin' way that, it's Saturday. I could say no fucking way, but I'm not. There's no effing way that Cleveland is going to trade like one of their star homegrown players when they're still trying to compete for the division. I don't see that happening. What else we got here? Where are we at? Oh, the Enigma. Challenging Richie says mental toughness doesn't win ball games. Baseball games are won by good hitting, good pitching, good defense, and intelligent base running, all that kind of stuff that Richie says in his voicemails, which we will likely hear we will hear in just a few minutes. A couple more chats, and then we will get into voicemail. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's listen to, we just got a voicemail in from Noah. Noah's going to give me a little bit of a vocal break so I can drink my coffee and get my voice back on track. It is a solo show. So let's do that. Guys, and again, if you have thoughts, get in the voicemail hotline. I'll be here for a few more minutes hanging out. And I want to know where people are at with this team. We got another super chat in, but first we're going to go ahead and listen to Noah, As You Know.
Well, what up, guys? It's Noah, As You Know. And I got to say, guys, it's crazy how this free agency has been going. I personally think that the contracts by Ohtani and Soto and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ultimately have shifted the market in a lot of players' minds. Unfortunately, not the teams. So players think they're worth more than they were before Ohtani, but that's not what teams think. Because keep in mind, no baseball player was getting paid more than $500 million before Ohtani got his $700 million. So I personally think that the players are overvaluing themselves, and the teams are not valuing them enough. Plus, I'm pretty sure Mr. Hollywood Style pretty much has frightened offices about signing agents very long term. Anyway, that's all I gotta say, guys. Have a good one.
We got some Anthony Rendon love there. Yeah, I mean, if you're watching the way that Anthony Rendon contract kind of is wrapping up with the Angels, I would be frightened if I'm spending money as an owner, as a baseball team owner. That would definitely be concerning. Yeah, the Ohtani contract, something we've talked about here. Shout out Noah. As you know, being a faithful listener of the All Dodgers podcast. Ohtani contract, $700 million, changed the market. It took where we were expecting the most expensive contracts, the most lucrative contracts to be like, oh shit, this guy just signed for $450 million. Like maybe somebody gets the $500 million like Vladdy did to surpass, it wasn't free agency, but maybe somebody gets there to surpass the figure, the number that Mike Trout got with his contract extension. You guys remember Mike Trout, best player in baseball for a decade, was worth every bit of that $460 when he signed it. And then well, the Angels, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But you follow up the Ohtani contract with the Juan Soto free agency and him getting $765 million. Like, no, you're not worth that. You play baseball for one. That's another whole conversation where I can belittle their profession. But you play baseball, you're not supposed to get paid $765 million over, 13, 14 years to play baseball. It's too damn much. And now these people think that they can get $40 million. $40 million should be like the cap. Like, you need to do everything great. Like, yeah, Shohei gets $70 million a year, which he doesn't, but like, you need to be an elite defender, an elite hitter. You need to hit for power. You need to steal bases, all this kind of stuff. You need to have that mental toughness and that clutch gene in the postseason. If you want $40 million a year, but we're talking about Bo Bichette. Fucker can't play shortstop. He could barely play shortstop if we're talking about at a Gold Glove level. And he's out here trying to get $40 million a year? Nah, like, he has to resign himself to second base. Just throw that option here out there because nobody else wants to play him. Pay him to play shortstop. Anyways, Dodger Dog, who's running the Tigers, Artie Moreno. Shout out for that Tarek Skubal travesty. Throw that in there. What else we got here? Let's check the chat before we get into Richie's voicemail. Kevin Uhas talking about the future of the organization. James Tibbs III, Josue DePaula, Zaire Hope. At least one of them are going to be a great outfielder for this team in the next few years. They need to be. One of those guys, two of those guys will likely be traded at some point. But if somehow they can find their way, Kendall George is in there. He's definitely down on the list compared to these three dudes. But they have all this outfield talent. Mike Sirota as well. All this outfield talent. Like, two of these five dudes need to pan out for this team, and they'll be in a good spot because there is some concerns in the outfield coming up, especially after the Teoscar Hernandez contract wraps after the 2027 season. What else we got here? $4.99 from the Enigma. What is so sacred about homegrown talent? If they pan out, fine, but we aren't obligated to use homegrown talent. I prefer picking the best player. What is good about homegrown talent is that they are cheap for the first handful of seasons of their career, of their big league career. That is what's good about homegrown talent. And Dodgers don't get to this level of success if it wasn't for the successes of the homegrown talent with Peterson, Seager, Buehler, all of that kind of stuff. Plus, I don't know, on the personal level, I'll say it again, it feels better when your dudes pan out. Like, we just saw Clayton Kershaw wrap up 18 years of being a Dodger. Well, more than that, 20 years of being a Dodger, but 18 seasons as a big leaguer, 17, 18, whatever. We saw him wrap up an incredible career that he did all in Dodger blue. Like, that means something to some of us, means something to me, but I'd prefer the best player be somebody the Dodgers drafted and developed. Joe Techno in the chat. Always a good day with new Dodger content. Thank you very much, Joe Techno. Great name, by the way. I love that. That's worth some couple of points there just in the name. What else we got here? Oh yeah, I had this one. I started this one. Nicole. Tougher to draft good players when you keep on winning. The pangs of success. It's definitely the penalty of being a successful ball club, and also playing in free agency where the Dodgers lost a couple of draft picks in signing Edwin Diaz. You have to get creative to retain that title of having like a top farm system, which, by the way, the Dodgers farm system, despite all their success, was voted as the best farm system. This was from like people around baseball. It's not necessarily the MLB pipeline people or Baseball America people, the talent evaluators, talent experts. This was organizations, like people around organizations saying, no, the Dodgers have the best farm system. They find a way to do it through intelligent trades, good drafting, all of that kind of stuff. They find a way. But at some point they get away from it. I don't know. That was not a good way to end it because I got distracted by this. Williams says, "Go Birds." That's right. Go Birds. Where's my hat? It's over there. I'm an Eagles fan. Sorry, everybody. If you didn't know, now you know. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's another one here. Where'd you go? GI in the chat. Don't forget about Quintero and Sirota, both of them fast risers. Yeah, Quintero, admittedly, that's a dude I know a lot less about. You need to go to your guys, some like Tim Rogers or, of course, Casey Porter to know a lot more about those dudes. But there are like 6 outfield prospects for this team that two of them pan out. You're in a fantastic spot. The Enigma. How many titles did we win in those years talking about those ball clubs? Well, they could have maybe won 2017 if they had a fair fight. They did make the World Series, though, in 2017 and 2018. First time they made the World Series in almost 30 years at that point. But they didn't win any. To the question, they did not win any titles. Sydney, I don't think they will do a left field platoon of Ryan Ward and Alex Call. They let Conforto go out there every day and didn't call up Ward when they could have had a chance, when they could have platooned him. She thinks they make a trade. Trade is absolutely in the realm of possibility. I don't know who you trade for. I still would love to see a Jarren Duran who is reasonable. And now it's funny. I'm saying all this stuff about homegrown talent, Ryan Ward, homegrown talent. But if we're talking about taking away an opportunity for him to plug in a Jarren Duran also isn't worth $40 million a year, or is not asking for $40 million a year. Elisheva, give some love to Will Smith. Guy the Dodgers drafted and developed, and it feels good to have a dude, at least one guy, out there that was drafted and developed by this team. Nicole Taylor, Juan Soto is not worth Ohtani money, no way, even when Shohei packs it in on pitching. His competitiveness, we'll see him try to join the outfield or something like that. Best contract ever. Yeah, the same way Mookie Betts has rolled his value forward by becoming a pretty damn good shortstop. You know, in his waning years of being an elite baseball player, if he can be a very good shortstop and at least average bat, like that makes that contract look great. Or keeps that contract looking great. If the other guy, Shohei Ohtani, becomes an outfielder and can still have the wheels and run him down, like he could play outfield right now. He absolutely play the outfield, but he decides to stop pitching, which I don't know that bro stops pitching, man. He really likes pitching. Shohei considers himself a pitcher first, but if he has to hang him up, the only thing that makes it tough is if he hangs it up as a pitcher, it's probably because of an arm injury. So now you're putting him in the outfield. Like, it could get a little wonky, but there's definitely future value for Shohei Ohtani for sure. What else we got here? Yeah, Noah bringing up that we were rated number 1 farm system. Douglas, let's see what this one is. If they're always having the best AAA talent in the league, then why aren't they called up? That is a great question. And we were asking it very loudly last summer when it came to Ryan Ward, while we were suffering through the Michael Conforto era. Sometimes they are called up and they're not given opportunities, really. Like Alex Freeland last year got some opportunity, could not seize it at all. Michael Busch was called up and never really given an opportunity. Ha-Seong Kim, you could technically say, a Dodger kind of farm dude because, yeah, he was signed from KBO, but he is one of their guys. He hasn't played anywhere else. He was called up, given some opportunities, and then kind of taken away. I don't know. It's the cost or the price to the prospects of them being so good and them competing at World Series winning levels. They can't afford to rely on, all right, maybe this guy pans out. And that's kind of one of the things I think really, really hurts Ryan Ward this offseason and into this upcoming season. $5 from Uhas, and if Uhas did it, I think that means I need to take a desk pop, which I'm a little worried about. Wasn't planning on drinking today, but don't worry, YouTube. It's apple juice. He says we won the 2020 World Series, and that was great point. Thank you very much. Take that, Enigma. I'm taking a halfie, by the way, on the shot. Kevin Uhas, they won one with that homegrown talent. Can't take that from us. No, they can't. So cheers to the 2020 World Series champion Dodgers, littered with homegrown talent. Oh, that's awfully good. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe for me powering my way through before noon shots. Oh, fuck, it's not even noon. All right, we'll get to the point where we start to hit the wrap it up button here. I think we've hit all the points. It's fun doing the Saturday shows again. We'll get me and Kevin doing some of these. We're going to start getting content going here again. Spring training's around the corner. I'm very much looking forward to what this new season looks like, what this channel is going to be with all of us. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys for the growth of this channel, and just over 2 seasons of doing this, almost 25,000. Well, we're not almost. We're past 20,000, closing in on 22. Like, you guys are awesome. And IK 2207 says, dude, it's not even noon. That's what I said. But Kevin Uhas paid me money to take shots, and I can't not take shots from my boy Uhas. So, Daddy won't be drinking no more this afternoon, and I apologize for saying that. We all know that's Alex Call's nickname. But all right. Yeah, if you know, you know. Now we're bouncing all around. Let's listen to Richie if you want some real bouncing around. Dig in for this one. It says it's 3 minutes.
Now, on Tuesday night, I saw the most asinine, stupid comment in the chat that pretty much outraged me. So tonight, I'm going full Richie from DeVore. Mental toughness is a real thing. You won't find it in the back of a baseball card. You can't find it on a FanGraph sheet. You won't find the odds on it on FanDuel.
Enigma, I think he's talking to you.
Mental toughness is an inner thing. It's a feel. It's a gut. It's measuring the mental toughness of a ball player. You can run off all the numbers you want, and the numbers are going to say the player's great. Yeah, well, no shit he's great, or else he wouldn't be in the big leagues, you dummies. Essentially, what I look for is what I saw in the World Series. Mental toughness is Will Klein going out there and pitching 4 innings. Yeah, but Richie, he was the last pitcher left in the bullpen. Yeah, no shit. But at the end of the day, he gave our ball club 4 quality innings, and he went out there and pitched his guts out. And you don't do that if you don't have the wherewithal to understand the situation that you're in. Yamamoto won 3 games in the World Series, all road games. 2 starts and a bullpen appearance to close it out in the 7th inning. He showed the whole world why he is worth the money that he was paid, told Josh Reddick to go shove it up his ass, and went out there and showed the world why I'm the best. And he did it in front of a world TV audience. And he went out there and he shoved. That's mental toughness. Andy Pajes, if you strictly went by the numbers, he had no business being in the World Series in Game 7, but yet he makes that catch. We don't win it without him. That's mental toughness. Miggy Rowe, and this is the statement that got this whole thing started. Miggy Rowe. Somebody said the only reason why we won that game because Miggy stepped on home plate to score a run. Oh, really? Well, let's just take a look at that. You're down to your last 2 outs on the brink of elimination, 51 million people watching worldwide. You're down to 2 strikes, and you hit one over the left field wall. If that's not mental toughness, then I don't know what it is. At the end of the day, this is a feel. It's a gut. The numbers only tell me that you're a good ball player. Well, yeah, no duh, because you're in the big leagues. There are guys that don't have some mental toughness. Tatis, Juan Soto, and my favorite player of all time, Manny Machado. Yeah, great talent, generation talent, but they have no soul. They have no heart. And that's the reason why they'll never get a fucking ring at the end of the day. And yeah, they'll probably just make it to Cooperstown, but they're never, ever going to wear a ring because they're too busy playing for the name in the back instead of the name in the front. So.
Oh shit, he ran out of voicemail. Oh, poor Richie. He's wanted so badly to get his F's in, to get his fuck Dodger Stadium parking lot, fuck Manny Machado, fuck the Padres, fuck Mike Schilt, and for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. And he ran out of voicemail. Richie, you know, I have not disagreed about the mental toughness. I think there is a certain thing to having the numbers on the back of the baseball card, having the ability, having the talent, but there's also something about being able to not let a big moment get to you. And we've seen that with a number of these Dodgers players. Miggy Rowe not letting a big moment get to him. Hey, I think you think about the homer. You mentioned the homer, but with Miguel Rojas, you think about that play that nearly cost him the season. He is playing that game hurt. There's some mental toughness for you. He gets to that ball. He almost falls over, loses his balance, says, "Fuck no, I'm not letting this happen." Gathers himself enough to throw enough of a dart close enough to home plate for Will, who needs to learn to keep his foot down. By the way, people who say Will Smith is potential first base answer, seeing the boy play first base, he needs a little bit of work. But Miggy Rowe having the toughness to be like, nah, that ain't happening. And I'm not going to shit on Will Smith, because I will say his mental toughness is the freezing cold water in his veins to hit that homer, to hit that go ahead. This is a guy who won a World Series, and you wouldn't know it just because of the way he carries himself, man. I got distracted by this when Rosman said, "Look up, ran out of CD space." Apparently it's a song, but I think I've come back from running out of CD space. You only have so many KBs you can play with, or MBs, or whatever CDs went by. But I agree to circle it back, and we'll hit the wrap it up button here as we approach an hour. Appreciate you guys again hanging out with me on the Saturday. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Mental toughness is real. It's not a tangible thing. It's not a quantifiable metric, but there is something to somebody who can step up in the big moments. And I think there are times you can make the argument that somebody like a Mookie Betts doesn't always have the mental toughness, and you could see it in the swings. You could see it in the swing and the miss, and him trying to he does a swing and then he does his about face and marches back to the dugout as quick as he can. There are times where it's lacking. There are other times where Mookie plays with that swagger. He's a swagger player, not necessarily a mental toughness player. Don't know where that came from, but tits with a tits. There's something to it. And I'm glad Richie got a chance to vent there. And at some point, can lose a bet and have to wear a Machado jersey. God damn! I mean, we all have a Machado jersey. It was a good couple of months. GI says, sounds like Clint is out on the moving Smith to 3B dream. Yeah, listen, third base is a different story. Third base, you don't have to keep your foot down on the bag. I love Will at third in the future, especially if Dalton can hit. But we can find another first baseman. That's what I'm saying. $4.99, another $4.99 from the Enigma. Look at this guy. Bankrolling the show. We appreciate you. It says the Enigma retracts nothing. All of the players Richie named still need to actually play well. Mental toughness is important, but not sufficient. I agree with that as well. It can't be the only thing that a player brings to the table. I see my friend Ivy Stroking in the chat, and I just want to make sure we shout him out. Always doing great work. Ivy Stroking, Diane Schroeder in the chat. Some of the other friends of the chat who are part of our moderation crew. Alex is in there. Denny Cortez. If I'm forgetting anybody, it's because you deserved it. I just forgot. But the final ones I want to end with are IK saying, going to spring training again after taking 2 years off. Love that for you. Spring training is the best. I'm going to be going out there apparently twice, because we have not that one, not this, not that. There we go. I'll leave this one up. We have in Dodgers territory, we have an interview at some point in February with Dave Roberts for the second year in a row. We have a 2-on-1, potentially 3-on-1 if Katie joins us. So we have that going on in February, and then me and the boys will be out there for our 12th, 13th year in a row in March around around St. Patrick's Day. Spring training is the best. If you guys haven't been to spring training, go. I would suggest that everybody goes to spring training 10 years ago, because my God, it has become just ridiculously overpriced everywhere. Not just at Camelback for Dodger games, but like getting in, you used to be able to get into a ballpark for like $6. It's just like 5 years ago, you can get into a ballpark and sit on the grass or walk around for $5. Now, like the floor is maybe 10 or $15. Listen, make spring training affordable again. That's what I would like to say. And the final thing I'll wrap with is Joe Rampley says sign Bo next week. Yeah, it's funny. I had this whole segment of the show somewhat trashing Bo. Not even trashing Bo, saying not that I don't even want him. I don't want to pay. I don't want to see the Dodgers pay that much for him. However, they sign Bo Bichette next week. Your boy's going to be a happy camper, I'll tell you that much. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me here on this Saturday edition of the All Dodgers podcast. Would not do the show without you, that's for damn sure. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out here for an hour. Thank you to Richie and Noah for calling in the voicemail hotline. Saturdays will be a thing again. I might move the show back from 11 a.m. to 11:30 so I can make sure I have time to get everything kind of ripped and rolling and polished up for a show, but we'll figure those out. I always try to post on my Twitter or in the Discord when we're going to go live so people know. If you want to support the show on the Patreon, we'd appreciate it. Patreon.com/RealFRG, or click the join button here on YouTube. I need to get the Jeff emoji on YouTube. It will happen before the next stream. I promise that. But you can support us for 99 cents on YouTube. You get emojis, you get different little perks and all that kind of stuff. $5 a month, you get access to our Discord server, whether it be through Patreon or YouTube members. And with that, we're talking Dodgers all day long, all year long. Really, really like good community of Dodgers fans in there. Do check it out. And again, all of that support goes directly to people like me, Jeff, Kevin, when I decide. It doesn't go to anybody else. You are supporting independent Dodgers coverage, independent media here on the internet. We'd appreciate you for doing that. Shout out to FanDuel for presenting the show. Shout out to Bleav Network for having us on the podcast or on their podcast network. Shout out to you guys for being here and having full year 3 of Dodgers, all Dodgers being a thing. All right, enough of me. I'm out. See you in the next one. Bye.